Hey guys, I have an exclusive scoop on Disney Marvel buying back the Spider-Man IP property rights outright. I'm super excited, and I have some really great sources confirming this. Let's talk about it.
Spider baby, shoot some spider webs. Thank you.
So I have a few different sources that have been tying into this story, but most specifically, Mikey Sutton was the final piece of the thread. Now, he was sitting on the story for a little bit for a couple of reasons. Anybody such as myself and others who have any kinds of links to insider sources have a certain protocol and etiquette. Specifically, you don't want to drop a scoop before you get permission. There can be different reasons for this. Number one, if the thing that you're having the scoop about is not 100% confirmed by multiple sources, different insiders, if they don't give permission, there could be different reasons for that. Number one, if it's like exclusive information that only a very small group of people initially are let in on, then it could get that anonymous source in trouble. So you don't want to do that. Once it's disseminated a little bit to a little bit wider need-to-know basis, it might be a little bit safer. Or once again, if it's just confirmed, you don't want to eat humble pie later. Like maybe it was on the discussion table at one point, but then if it didn't fall through, there was no official talk about it or anything, you just look stupid covering a scoop, and it's just your word against everybody else's. So I did get enough confirmation though. Out of professional respect to Mikey Sutton, who had these additional details, I wanted to wait for him to drop his story and the channels that he was going to drop them on. So, including, like, he does these things with Lords of Longbox and everything else. So, with that out of the way, yes, it's confirmed by Mikey Sutton and my other sources. Sony was actually speaking with Disney about what they could do regarding, coming to an agreement. So the talks were on and off. They had negotiated different things, including different cuts on if they did Spider-Man 3. Something that must have been brought to the table at some point was Sony selling the rights back to Disney. So Sony's playing hardball, Disney's playing hardball. Sony thought, okay, maybe we can get in between cut between, like, let's say the 5% and the 25% that Disney wants. Or maybe we can sell the rights back. One of the sources that I had a link to for another scoop said that Sony originally pitched the idea of, okay, well, if we can't come to an agreement on Spider-Man 3 and what cuts each studio should get, why don't you just buy the rights back from us for $10 billion, and then you can just produce 100% of Spider-Man 3 and take all the rights, and in exchange, we'll get our $10 billion, and based on valuation, this character is going to bring that much value over the next several years. Disney was like, no, we don't want 5% again, we don't want less than 25%, and $10 billion is too high. Now, here's a really interesting part about this. John Watts, the director, they wanted him back for Spider-Man 3. And he said, well, I don't know if I want to do it if it's not going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because I like collaborating with Kevin Feige and everything. And they said, well, maybe they tossed the ball around with the idea of, well, maybe we could get another director and it could still be very successful. And then Tom Holland was under contract, so we'd have to do it either way, but he might not make future films beyond that, and they wouldn't want to reboot it after 3. So Tom Holland had a little bit of leverage saying, like, hey, Disney, can you maybe compromise with them? Hey, Sony, do you want me to come back for future films? If so, I'd really like this Spider-Man 3 to be in the MCU. So they had to come to an agreement quickly because they had already announced a date for when they want to release Spider-Man 3, which is July of a couple of years from now. So at this point, if they already need to start, getting a script, not if they needed to bat down a director, if they wanted to make sure that Tom Holland was in it for the long run, they said, okay, we'll let you do the 25% stake, and then we'll come to the table again for a longer deal that looks beyond just Spider-Man 3. So there was additional discussions about some things that they could do with, like, for instance, the live Spider-Man TV, maybe the future Spider-Man films and everything. And ultimately, Disney said, hey, well, we kind of like your idea of the whole we just buy the rights back totally, and then, valuation and everything, but there's no way you're getting $10 billion from it, and then passes the note across the table, they pick it up. $4 billion.
maybe 5.
While there are these additional confirmations that confirm that these negotiations are on the table, back on the table, it's not 100% confirmed that they will necessarily sign all the ink on both ends, and will exactly be $3 billion. That number could go up or down, or the deal could still not go through. But there's enough confirmation I have now, especially with Mikey Sutton's drop here, that I can feel comfortable dropping this, saying that, you know, $4 billion is on the table right now, and the near future will either confirm this number, the time frame, or anything else, or if they just end up working out another deal. But here's the other clincher. So you probably saw other scoops too talking about the fact that Sony's film division is hit or miss. Some of their properties, they make some money. They can't keep renegotiating with Disney indefinitely where everyone's happy necessarily. Outside of the Spider-Man property, these other properties that they have don't tend to make as much of a profit. And anytime that you have a large corporate company that has multiple media divisions, you want to start cutting the fat in the places where you don't do so well. So Sony will continue as a successful, money-making global company, but it'll be in their other divisions like video games, etc. So here's the thing. They could either try to breathe new life into their film production division outside of Spider-Man, or they can try to milk Spider-Man a little bit longer and try to negotiate and then see what happens down the road. But then if their film division continues to devalue and what they're doing with Spider-Man becomes slippery and slipperier, and they are no longer looked at as possibly being able to sell off their film division, then they'll run into some of these problems. So Disney can leverage these facts and say, hey, you know, sell while you're high on the Spider-Man property, sell while you're high through the streaming services and everything for everything other than Spider-Man. We'll cut through all this legal red tape and all these problems that might otherwise arise. It's a win-win situation. The streaming service that buys your film division will still get everything else, like the original IPs that you've come up with on your own or that you've legally acquired that wouldn't revert. We'll get Spider-Man back, you'll get some money from it, and then you can focus on your divisions that do really well. There is more that Mikey Sutton's going to be dropping on some other channels over the next hour, so I will make another update after that. Once I get that other video produced, I'll put it here. You'll see a little eye that you can pop open for an infographic where you can click on that link. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Comment below what you're excited for Marvel and Disney to do correctly once they have the Spider-Man properties back. What would you like to see them do? Would you like to see them do, you know, something crazy like a Spider-Man, Spider-Woman team up with Jessica Drew or Julia Carpenter version? Would you like to see the Spider-Geddon? Would you like to see the Spider Slayer series with Alistair Smythe? And now that they can use D'Onofrio, Kingpin, have that continuity, would you like to see them team up with Daredevil once they have that production property rights back? Let me know what you guys would like to see. If you really like this video and you want to get up-to-date news on these exclusives, which I was able to drop before some of these other channels, please hit subscribe and the notification bell, and anytime I get some kind of inside scoop, either from Mikey Sutton or another source, I'll be sure to share it here and update all of you.